A beautiful late afternoon sky here in SIGULDA, Latvia, as we get ready for our final run of the day, run number 2 of the women's singles competition. Hi again, everyone. I'm Tim Singer. For over 40 years, they have been competing here on this historic track in SIGULDA, Latvia, most recently with women's singles run number 1 earlier today, where Lisa Schulte, perfect on the podium so far this season, still looking for her first victory, but she's in 3rd place. Julia Tobits, the World Cup leader, figures to hang on to that spot with her closest contender, Madeline Egla, out of the race. But it's Alina Vota, no better than 9th place in any race so far this season. She leads the way on a track in which she won the World Cup race to end last season. Beautiful conditions, a little bit of snow off and on. In fact, tomorrow for the men's singles and the team relay, it's supposed to be beautiful. But as far as this late Saturday, as you can see in the distance, it's shaping up to be a gorgeous sunset. But is it shaping up to be a fantastic finish in this women's singles race? Right now, to tell us a little bit more about the race and this very challenging track, I'm pleased to reintroduce from Team Italy my commentating partner, Leon Felderer. Leon, welcome back.
Hello, Tim. Thanks for having me again.
What do you think? Can Latvia hang on and break their season-long slump with a victory later today?
We'll see about the victory, but I think they showed us some great lines already in the first run, and they showed us also some great speed, which is good to see that they are back at the top, competing with the best of the world on home soil, and I think that will be, well, good racing for the second run, yeah.
Speaking of great lines, there are a lot of great lines on this track in Latvia and a lot of challenging ones as well. We'll take a look at this great 3D graphic, but then we'll get a little ride from top to bottom. And at least, Leon, you can tell us for you what the most challenging ones are.
Yeah, the most challenging part is right at the start, or one of the most challenging things, which we will see.
That's the men's start
here,
there.
Going into this
right?
corner, this is the crucial part for the ladies, because you need to have a very nice angle going into it and then a good cut. And then here in the labyrinth, you can see how fast it really goes. It's, you know, corner into corner. Here, going into the 11, that's the first high pressure corner. Then 12, that's what matters. A nice entrance into 13 to cut the nice pressure at the beginning and to make it out in a straight line out of 14, high pressure corner 15. Here we saw sometimes struggles out of that, and then going into the Finnish Chrysler, which is another big pressure corner. So there's a lot of G-force on your body doing this run here on this track.
No track record in run number 1. They came within 600ths of the track record. We did see a record earlier today in women's doubles. As light snow falls, it shouldn't impact the speed of the track. Most of the track is covered. Here's the start list, and as we make our way down to page number 2, you'll see that there's a really nice battle between like 8th place and 3rd place. So the podium positions are totally up for grabs here.
Yeah.
Julia Tobits, the World Cup leader, is in a 3-person or 4-person battle, really, for the victory. Any of those 4 could take it, including the 2 Latvians who have underperformed so far this season, but are acquitting themselves very well on their home track.
It's going to be exciting to see who will end up in the podium, because I think there's some people in there that had a little problems in the first one, and if they can clean it up, so they will definitely speed up a bit more, and we will see how much they can speed up more to compete for those podium positions then at the end of the day.
Lots of spectators here, from the young to the photo bombing old that we saw a moment ago. And Leon, I hope a lot of these fans make the trip over to Canada for the World Championships, because I don't expect to see the types of crowds we're seeing here in Latvia. It is unbelievable.
Oh, it would be a long travel for all the Latvians to go over to Whistler to watch us race at the World Championships. But you know, we're hoping to have a few Canadians, a few Americans. I think some of the European families also coming over to watch their loved ones race there, as it is the most important race of the season, obviously. So yeah, let's hope for the best, and let's hope for a bigger crowd than what we're used to in Whistler.
And we'll hope for some great racing here as run number 2 gets underway with a surprise entrant, the youngest athlete competing this weekend in any of the disciplines, 16-year-old Margita Sersnina, who earlier today in her World Cup debut just made it into the qualification for run number 2.
Yeah, it was good to see her qualify for the second run, as it is her first World Cup ever. And you know, having a second run, that's not ideal. Wow, she did great job at correcting it.
Oh, she's driving this almost like a veteran. Not perfect lines, but pretty good corrections when she seems to be getting into trouble.
Yeah, she had a hit out of 11 and then went early into 12. That's what we saw, what happened to the Romanian girl in the first heat, and then that lead to a crash. But she did an awesome job at correcting it, because obviously she's had so many runs down this track, and she knows if you go kind of late into 13, you need to give it all you've got at the beginning and then at the end again.
And up note, she also
just the hit and then too early to 12, and that's a very dangerous thing to do here on this track. But yeah, just see how much she's steering at the beginning, and then a strong hold, and then she's pushing it out.
And up note, she also had a little bit of a bang right before the finish line that didn't really affect her time, but as we preview tomorrow's team relay, that's not something you want to do.
Nope.
Juliana Tanitska, an athlete who herself began on the World Cup at age 16. That seemed like decades ago, and now still just 21 years old. Tanitska, in her 6th year on the World Cup, is still one of the youngest.
6 years on the World Cup and just 21 years old. That is just incredible. She has a lot of experience at that young age. And especially on this track, it's the home track for the Ukrainians, so they definitely know how to slide here. Julia is also known for having a good start, which definitely helps here on this track, because it's one of the shorter tracks. It's only 42 seconds from top to bottom, so you also need to have a strong start if you want to be competing with the top spots.
Tanitska guarantees her best result of the season. She can do no worse than 19th place, which is where she started run number 2. And she could conceivably move up a few spots depending on what the next few sleds do.
Yeah, that was a 10th faster than her first run. So, I don't know, it might be the track that is a bit faster, because she also had a great run in the first heat. So. And you know, a 10th is a 10th. It might not sound like a lot, but in the sport of luge, that is a small word.
Legacy Luge now from Team Italy as the next 2 athletes, 18th and 17th place after run number 1, are the daughters of great World Cup champions. First up, we've got Nina Ziegler. Her father, arguably the greatest of all time in the sport of luge. Next up will be Alexandra Oberstolz, whose dad in doubles luge has captured over a dozen World Cup wins in his career. A lot of legacy luge in Italy.
Yes, a lot of legacy luge that we have going on.
Did your parents compete?
No.
So this was just you waking up one morning and saying, I want to do this.
Yeah, exactly. No, I got into the sport of luge through natural track, because I am from Latvia, which is known for the tradition of natural track. And you know, at some point I just wanted to compete at the Olympics at some point, and that's not possible in natural track, so I had to make the switch over to this sport I love so much now.
Nina 1600ths behind Tanitska right now on the lower third of the track. Lines are pretty good in the Kreisel. Looping a bit,
but also she did not have the best of runs. We saw some troubles out of 11. It's just a bit off, and that's not what you want to see, obviously. And that takes a lot of correction, a lot of steering. so you cannot let the sled run, and that bites away at your time. Here you can see just skid out of 11, and then it's just troubles until you make it out of 14, basically.
And Juliana was looking for someone to celebrate with, and the closest someone was the mascot penguin here in Latvia. From one Italian to another, we get ready for Alexandra Oberstolz in her World Cup debut, 17th place after run number 1. Quick question for you, Leon, that comes in with our YouTube chat. What do you like to eat before a race?
It depends really on how much time I have before the race. So if I short before the race, I do not want to eat too much. Maybe a banana, I would say. It's something I really like to eat before a race or in between heats.
So schnitzel isn't getting the call at the start house.
No, it's a bit too much for my stomach to handle on race day. I want to feel, not so full.
Oberstolz and her teammate Ziegler were only separated by 0.07 of a second after run number 1. Neither of them are able to catch the Ukrainian as Juliana Tanitska falls up or moves up one more position. No hug with the penguin, but a fist bump this time.
Maybe a bit harsh into the first corner, and here we can see the sled starting skidding. But yeah, it was still okay, but obviously not ideal. But I think it's her World Cup debut, so she will be happy regardless. And she can do no worse than 18, 17.
That's right, 17th. Because up next, Melina Fischer was in 16th place after run number 1. She showed steady improvement over the first 3 races, a 15th in Lillehammer, a 10th in Innsbruck, and then an 8th in Oberhof, which isn't exactly her home track. She'll be on her home track next week in Altenburg. But the 20-year-old, as Leon and I spoke about in run number 1, when you are 4th out of 4 on the depth chart in Germany, you are a little nervous about your position.
Yeah, there's always someone behind you that is training for the spot or for the 4th spot. And you have so many teammates in Germany from so many different regions. Insane depth in the program, so you always need to throw down and perform on race day. She's struggling a bit with the start corners, as we've seen already in the run number 1. Other than that, the lines look great.
Yeah, she lost a bit of her advantage and she gained it back down at the bottom of the track.
Yeah.
So tears, I think faux tears for Juliana Tanitska. She moved up 2 positions, a good race for the Ukrainian, but it's Germany out in front right now. Natalie Maag of Switzerland really trying to find her footing this year. 15th place after run number 1. She's 9th in the World Cup standings with a pair of top 10s. She said that the season didn't start well in Lillehammer. She was even more disappointed with that 9th in Oberhof, which is one of her home tracks.
All right, now she's showing us some great lines. She had some troubles out of 14, if I remember correctly, in the first heat. Much better now. Clean exit out of 14. Clean exit out of 15 as well. A nice run here.
To the finish, Natalie Maag of Switzerland. Her actual home track is St. Moritz, where we'll be next year. She holds on to her spot. She opens it up, in fact, with the fastest run so far here in heat number 2. Natalie, of course, will not be competing tomorrow in team relay, as not only this year, but for many years now, she has been a one-person national federation. That's surprising, Leon, because Switzerland loves its skeleton and its bobsleigh. It's maybe the home to sledding sports, the birthplace. Why not more lugers?
Wow, that is a tough question, a good question. I don't know.
I don't expect you to come up with the answer, but we all share in that mystery.
Yeah, that is a good question. Maybe we should ask Natalie about it. Maybe she's committed to starting a program after she's done competing. It would be
right.
Would be nice to have more Swiss sliders
in
the sport of luge.
Here's Zana Kaluma, busiest woman of the day, as she competed earlier today in women's doubles as well. 20 years old, originally from the capital city of Riga, now makes her home nearby in Sakarsti, Latvia.
That was a very nice cut into the first corner. The nicest that we've seen so far. Maybe a bit late into 11, but nice push out of it. Great line. As we expect. So showing us great lines. She has plenty of fronts here. They spent most of their preseason here training on this track, as they traveled only to Lillehammer for the first week, and then I think it was 5 weeks that they spent here on this track. So they have plenty of fronts.
She drops 1/10 of a second behind the Swiss slider, Zana Kaluma, who says her favorite athlete in the sport of luge is Wolfgang Kindl, which may give you an idea of why she's willing to do singles and doubles.
I would have guessed that, to be honest. He's the role model for doing double duty, and he's doing it very successful.
That Finnish Kreisel, one of 2 weeks in a row, in fact, Oberhof and Latvia. Most of the European tracks have a 270 or 360 degree Kreisel, but only these two have them as the Finnish Kreisel. Now, Verena Hoffa of Italy. And Leon, we talk a lot about challenging turns like 13, 14, 15 here, and of course curve 9 next week in Altenburg, several others around the world. But what about ice conditions? Are there tracks that vary from year to year or from week to week on how smooth or how rough the ice is?
Oh, definitely. So that can be.
What can you do? Is that a choice of the track designer, the ice meister?
Well, I don't know if it's a choice. It has to do a lot with the weather, obviously. Depending on how high the humidity is, the track will slow down more or less. But it's also a question of how the track is shaped. So if there's more ice in the track, then it's different to drive. You know, people struggle with different things. If there's more ice in, then compared to it's less. So it can be bumpy, it can be smooth. You know, if it's cold, then the ice is different. You need to be in a safer setup to have more grip. So there's a lot of different variables going into the equation here of just competing and successfully.
Italy knocks Switzerland out of the leader zone by 5 thousandths of a second. Pretty good run here by Verena Hoffa.
Very nice run.
Verena up and coming, finished 10th place in Oberhof.
Yeah, Verena is being consistent this year, which is good to see.
Now we move ourselves close to the top 10. Tied for 11th are the next 2 athletes. They were tied to the thousandths of a second, both from Austria. These are 2 that really made themselves known in the opening weekend in Lillehammer, where they both finished on the podium in the Nations Cup. And here they are, neck and neck, 4 weeks in. Barbara Allmeyer first, to be followed by Dorothea Schwarz.
Losing it at the start, but you know the magic of the Austrian sleds at the bottom.
We do. Everyone
so we will see how that
point.
evolves throughout the run, because Verena showed us some great lines. Yeah, that was a bit of a loop going through 11.
Yeah, that was a little high there as well. Still in the red. Nice line, nice exit.
but she's picking up time somehow.
0.07 of a second,
And
negotiating the final curves. Curve number 16 here to the finish as Allmeyer moves into the green. And Leon just spoke about it, the magic
of the
Austrian sleds.
Tell me about it, Tim.
Yep.
Oh man.
A lot of fingers pointing towards Christian and Georges and asking, what are these guys doing?
They are doing something wrong. Something right, let's say it like that.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. Because she did not have a great run. She looped in 11, had a hit before 12. No big mess up, but you know, the little things that just add up, usually, that take your time away, but if you're on an Austrian sled, you can still make up some time, apparently. But it's good for them. You know, they invested a lot of money going into research, and it pays off for them.
From a 21-year-old upstart Austrian to a 19-year-old teammate, tied to the 1,000th of a second. That's what those zeros are on your screen right there. Dorothea Schwarz. She hasn't had quite the results of Allmeyer this year, but pretty decent start to the season. One top 10 and in 13th place in the World Cup points.
That just blows my mind how, you know, if you're going down a track that's almost a kilometer long and you're tied to the 1,000th of a second, that's just...
It's incredible.
That's incredible to think about, right?
One of two sports, I believe, are timed to the 1,000th of a second in the Olympics, and I don't at the moment remember what the other one was. Speed skating,
yeah.
Okay. To the finish, she's been in the green the entire way, and she opens it up. 1200s on her teammate. It's Austria, 1-2. Italy in third place right now, halfway through the field here in run number 2.
Yeah, a bit of a cleaner run than Barbara had, so she was able to make up some time.
Great form there.
Yep.
The straightaway really allows these athletes to tuck back and do their best Pavlichenko imitation.
Yes.
We do miss Zeman. The
Oh,
Russians used to do a great job on this track, including Zeman's World Championship in 2015.
Mm-hmm.
Top 10 now, Sandra Robacher looking for her best result of the year. She can equal it if she holds her position here. She's also in very good position to represent Italy tomorrow in team relay, where the Italians are always a podium threat.
Yeah, let's see what she can do. She likes the track. So for us, it's the best finish result for each individual race that will then compete in the team relay. Oh!
Skids there.
Skids. Oh no, oh no. Man.
Leon, very disappointing for Sandra. She loses the sled there. That's an immediate disqualification. Worse, she'll end up back in 20th place. She gives up her spot in the team relay.
Yeah.
And what caused all of that?
Yeah, you could see it coming out of 11. She was looping a bit through 11, so she had to correct out of it. And that's done through a rollback, so you go on your right shoulder. And she just pushed it a bit too much with that. And the sled started skidding, so you go early into 12. Flat 12, late 13, up, down, up on your stomach. That's what we've seen in run number 1. From here we can see the skid, and then just too early to 12, no height. And then, yeah, late into 13, and here just the pressure hits and you have basically no way out. You know already that this is not gonna end up well, and then there's wow.
That's why the sign on the track in curve 13 says Sigulda Thrills.
That is that's a big jump into corner 14. and that hurts a
And
lot because there's a lot of pressure hitting you at one point because you go quite fast and you basically fly on your stomach onto a wall.
Sandra, as you see, leaving the track in her own power, that's always the best sign of a post-crash debrief.
But there will be a lot of bruises on your body.
Now, if you want to suggest that the American women like to hang together, that is literally true in today's race, where they sit in 9th, 8th, and 7th place, and they're all within 0.05 of a second each other. Leon, as Emily Sweeney is the first to go, she has been iced momentarily by the Robacher crash.
Yeah, but Emily has so much experience, so she's definitely able to handle that bit of confusion or like going out of her comfort zone in that sense. So she will be okay, even if she's being iced for now.
She opened up the season pretty much as strong as anyone not from Germany or Austria, with a 2nd place finish in Lillehammer, a 4th place finish in Innsbruck. But then Emily skipped the race in Oberhof, making a decision a couple of days before race day, as she's very careful throughout her career to protect her neck injury sustained about 6 years ago. 31 years old, makes her home in northern Italy, where she will be getting married next.
Yes.
A wedding I'm sure you'll probably be at.
I hope so. Haven't received the invitation yet, but I'm waiting for it. Emily, if you watch this.
And if you get a chance, go on to the FIL Luge's YouTube channel, which you're watching right now, but search around because a wonderful story came out earlier this week. The decade-long love story between American Emily Sweeney and her now fiancé from Italy, Dominic Fischnaller, both Olympians, both World Cup race winners, and now they're building a house in Italy, planning to get married.
It's a lovely video. You should check it out.
Here we go.
Now Sweeney grabs the handles, 9th place after run number 1.
Dig!
Certainly a possibility to move up 4 or 5 spots, depending what she does now, what her teammates do to follow.
Yeah.
And she starts in the green.
She definitely has the speed to make up some spots. She had some troubles in the first run, out of 14, out of 15. Nothing crazy, but still some insecurities. So if she can clean that up, she will be even faster than in the second run.
Opened up the lead to 1600s now, and here's the crux of the course.
Much better, much better.
Looking very relaxed, now 1700s. Finish Kreisel for American Emily Sweeney. Holds on to her spot, doesn't gain any more down at the bottom, but that's against an Austrian sled, so she did quite well down there.
Yeah.
I think Emily's second only to Julia Tobitz when it comes to finish line smiles.
That is true. She has a great smile. Always a great smile on her face. But the run was much better than her first one. So she will be happy with that. And she's sped up by a few hundreds.
The sky was beautiful. Right? That's about it for my race.
Only the sky's beautiful. Come on, man, Emily. That was a good run.
Now the first of 3 consecutive USA athletes takes over the lead. Here is the next, Ashley Farquharson, born in California where there is no luge track, grew up in Salt Lake City, Park City, Utah, where there most definitely is a luge track, and now makes her home in Lake Placid, New York, where one of the world's most famous tracks is located. So she has been surrounded by tracks most of her life. A couple of great results so far this year for Farquharson, including a 5th place finish in the last race in Oberhof.
Yeah, it's pretty close between Emily and Ashley. So we'll see who takes the... Oh, she's building a lot of speed now. A lot of time that she found here in this midsection of the track. Problems.
That's going to cost her.
That's going to cost her, but she's still ahead. So let's see if she can make it, if she can carry it over the finish line, or if she loses it all in the finish corner.
Woo. Carson hangs on to her
100.
spot by 100th of a second, a 41.702. For the record, I believe it's really tight between Sweeney and Farquharson, with Britcher still to come on who will represent the USA tomorrow in team relay. They usually base that, Leon, on the fastest single run, and they were both faster here in run number 2 than in run number 1.
Right, so that should be interesting to see. Well, let's see what Summer does now. Maybe she answers our question.
Let's hope for the Summer fans. She certainly is capable of it.
Oh yeah, she is.
The 3-time Olympian and 5-time World Cup winner, Summer Bell Britcher.
Trying to become friends with the SIGULDA track.
Yes, exactly. That's what she said in an interview earlier this week. Now 30 years old. She also makes her home in Lake Placid. Her goal for the season, pretty simple, Leon, on her biography. Go fast.
Go fast. It's simple but effective. Well, she's ahead 800s. So it's looking good already. Very nice entrance into 11. Somehow losing a lot of speed because Ashley was picking up so much time in the midsection of the track. So
the lines seem fine.
Yeah, this is going to be close. This is going to be very close because Ashley had some troubles out of 14. Let's see if she can make up some more time here. At the oh no! Woo! It's
200ths of a second separate.
Back to back, all three of them.
The USA athletes.
That's crazy.
41.736 for Summer Britcher here in run number 2. And this is tight.
Yeah, it's very
really
tight. So they have 100, exactly 100 between each one of them, which is nice to see. That's why we love
really
this sport so much.
The next 2 to go, Leon, one German, or both Germans.
Yeah.
They're not much further ahead after run number 1. So
yeah, true.
So there's still the possibility for the USA to jump up some spots.
Yeah. Well, Ashley was so fast. She could have gone like much faster because she had some troubles out of 14. She picked up so much time in midsection. I don't know what she did, but I have to ask her about the secret lines for the race tomorrow.
Now, Anna Bierreiter is still looking for her first podium of the season, but she was as good as anyone last year here in SIGULDA with a first and a second in the 2 races. As you see right here, she has the 4th best start time, or the 6th best start time, and she's hanging on to a 700ths lead over the USA.
Let's see what she can do against Ashley here in the midsection. Also loses a lot of time. That is surprising.
This is surprising from Anna Bierreiter, but she has a pretty good line here. Let's see if she can find anything.
Well, it's going to be close again.
Very
you know?
tight. Absolutely. 700ths, and now to the finish.
Oh, 300.
Just behind by 300ths. Not only is she just out by 400ths of a second, that drops her 4 positions behind all 3 Americans.
It's so close. Wow.
That just, and what's amazing is the doubles races earlier today, at least women's doubles, they weren't close at all. There were 1/10 of a second gaps between all of the top athletes.
Yeah, that's true. But we see much better lines here in this race than we see in the women doubles race. It's crazy how close it is. 4 sleds within 300ths of a second here in the second. It's great racing.
Anna Bierreiter done for the day, perhaps for the weekend. 2 more Germans still remain as we now move to the top 5. after run number 1. And here's Merle Frabel, still just 21 years old, originally from the city of Zuul, which is not far away, about 10 kilometers away from the track in Oberhof. Mirla's story over her first few seasons on the World Cup has been some outstanding runs and a couple of train wrecks. Consistency has been what she's been trying to find. Let's see if she can hang on with another solid run here and hold off the Americans.
See if she can hold off the Americans. She has the track record here on this track, so she definitely knows how to go fast here. Also losing a bit of time compared to Ashley. She's behind now 300, so that might be the lead. Yeah,
it could be the lead.
Yeah, she's in the green
now. Into the green, trending it well. She has that sled in great shape, 0.08 of a second. She hangs on to her top 5 spot. And we do get one final question that comes in from Steve. And he's talking about sled manufacturers, and he says that, you know, you have different manufacturers in skeleton. Do you all have the same manufacturer of a sled in luge? I think it's more of a country thing, isn't it, Leon?
Yeah, it's more of a country thing, except for women doubles. In women doubles, everybody's on a caster sled, so they all have the same manufacturer. For the other disciplines, it's always based on what nation you're from. Most of them are, you know, do-it-yourself projects by coaches and different pieces that you get from different companies. So it's not so easy to build a sled. So yeah, right now, as it is right now, everybody has a different manufacturer, depending on which nation you're from.
As for the start of Kendi Aperiod season, she said earlier this week, every race so far was really bad. Nothing went right. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Well, she can change it all right here. She won the Nations Cup yesterday. She sits in 4th place after run number 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's been struggling a lot this year, but she had a great first run, building a lot of speed down at the bottom. Let's see if she can do that again. Great line here out of 14. She's able to keep it close.
4,000th of a second.
Maybe
so
she can.
Close.
She can pull out the magic again. Oh no.
To the finish for Latvia. No, falls back 25,000ths of a second. Yeah. Enough to keep her just ahead of the Americans and into the top 2. But still on the outside of the podium looking in, all the same, Leon, her top 5 will be by far Kendia's best result this season.
She's definitely looking then to build up on that. So, you know, she had a great showing, 2 good runs, back in the top 5, top 6. So that's a start, and she will definitely look to improve up on this and take the positive experience with her, because that does a lot with you mentally, and you need to be positive. You need to enjoy sliding to be able to go fast. And I think that's a good start to get more positive and enjoy sliding a bit more.
17 down, 3 to go. Race for the podiums now, and that's a race that's been won every week by this woman, Lisa Schulte. She hasn't won every race, but she's been on the podium every race. Third, and last race a second in Oberhof, and she's been very fast this week here in Latvia.
Yeah. A bit off, going into 7, but she's right back in line now. She's looking as relaxed as anybody here.
With a chance to move up 1 or maybe even 2 spots into the lead in the World Cup overall standings. Lisa Schulte, 57,000ths advantage, great lines from the world champion.
Another thing about Lisa, even if she's 1,000th of a second.
Unbelievable. Merle Frabel ends up on the podium, sneaks onto the podium for the first time this season.
Yeah.
And Lisa Schulte will have to wait for the final two sleds to see if she can keep her podium streak going.
I didn't see that happening because, you know, she had some mistakes there and then, but very small mistakes. And the thing with Lisa, she's just so relaxed and so in control of what's happening here. You can see like a little rough out of 14, but you know, right back on line and head back, feet up, relaxed. And yeah, but it's still 1,000th of a second that it's that's painful to watch. But that's the sport of luge.
Standings right now: Germany, Austria, Latvia, with 2 remaining, 1 German and 1 Latvian. Here's Julia Tobins, not only the 4-time World Cup overall points seasons winner, but the current leader, looking to protect her lead right now over Lisa Schulte. 30 points entering this race. So if she finishes within about 2 or 3 positions of the Austrian who just went down, Julia will stay on top. But I think she's more concerned with putting the pressure on Bota still to come.
Yeah, you can see here a little skid between 12-13. Not the run that she was hoping for, to put on pressure to Bota.
Not at all. In fact, will she fall out of the green? She does.
That will not be enough for a medal. Nope. Ooh.
Falling back.
Look how far that puts
position.
you back. 1500s and you lose 8 spots.
Unfortunate and surprising. I believe that will hand the World Cup overall lead to Lisa Schulte there on the left. For the first time ever in her career, she'll be the World Cup leader, but 1 sled stands between she and a victory here in Latvia. Wow, this is surprising.
This was very surprising.
Who's usually perfect
you
at
can
the bottom.
see the sled just starts to break out and she was not able to catch it, and then it starts sitting again. And that's just too much. That's just too much. Even if you're Julia Tawitz. Boy, I'm surprised how far that puts you back. If you like 1500, you're like, wow, so far back. 8, like you lose 8 spots.
Austria in the lead. Thumbs down for Germany, but the smile as always.
Smile as always. On to the next one.
And now we have Alina Bota. Her best finish this year, a 9th. In fact, it seems so long ago since she's won a race that she had a different last name. That was the final race last year, and of course she got married over the summer. So Alina Bota, it's her race to give away.
Boy, 2200, so she has a lot of margin to work with. Yeah, and
she finished not just with a win, but a 2nd place in the 2 races held here. 0.2 of a second. It'll take a mistake, nothing more. Everything else, and it's her race.
Ooh,
and she has close to a mistake.
Good save.
She's given away 1600s. We've seen time be bled down here at the bottom. This is very close.
It will be enough, but it...
0.006 of a second. She wins for the 3rd time in her career on the World Cup.
Good job. Back on top. Boy, that was a great save out of 14. Boy, about the best save that we've seen throughout the race.
And that's what happens when you know the track. And we've seen people make that save, Leon, but still lose the time.
Yeah.
And she managed to keep it.
Yeah, she lost also a bit of time, but she was lucky enough that she had a bit of a margin carrying from the first run. And then, the track, she got the finish line with the lead. The track could not have been any longer for that. Here you can see the sled just started skidding. Maybe she touched the wall even a little bit, but she was committed to not dropping her feet. And here, she was right back on line. She was just, at that point, I bet she was just hoping to reach the finish line and see the number 1. And at the end, and that's what she did. So it's good to see the Latvians do well here in the home soil.
Their first victory of the season in singles. Bots and Pluma had a win earlier this year in Austria. in the men's doubles competition, but Latvia takes its 5th victory of the year, all told, or 5th podium position, I should say. Smiles for the newlywed. She and her husband have both won this year on the World Cup now. Lisa Schulte becomes the only athlete to be on the podium in every race this season as she captures another 3rd place finish. The USA lurking back in 5, 6, and 7 places. Talbot's back in 9th. This is going to be very close. It's almost going to be a dead heat in the World Cup standings between Lisa Schulte and Julia Tobitz. We'll see those standings coming up in a moment, but we've got the presentation still here from Einars Bogelis. And how happy will he be to present first place to a Latvian?
We will be very happy to do that.
Nice to see some new and different faces here on the podium all weekend long so far, as we've had races won by Austria, Germany, and Latvia. 3 races, 3 different countries. I think, Leon, you're going to have to make it 4 different nations.
Yes,
in the men's
so I was
singles
about
tomorrow.
to say that. We will make it 4 different nations tomorrow.
Standing by for the World Cup standings, and I'm standing by eagerly because I really think this is going to be tight between Tobitz and Schulte. I think Julia got 42 points today by finishing 9th.
Wow.
Look at that, 1
1
point. Schulte out in front. That's a first in her career, although she has a world championship. Madeline Eglis slips way down, of course, 29th place today, but still hangs on to her top 3 position, and she is not going away anywhere soon or anytime soon this season. So those 3 are the best in the world, but all of the other Germans, Latvians, and Americans are certainly making a run for it as well. We are 4 races in. We still have 5 remaining, not including the World Championship. So the top 3 here today. 3rd place, Lisa Schulte. As I said, the only athlete now, 4 races, 4 podiums, showing her consistency on the fast Austrian equipment. 2nd place, she's had good days and bad days over the last 2 years. Today was a good one, Merle Frebel. But her 3rd win in her career on the World Cup, 2 of them right here on the home track in Latvia. Congratulations to Alina Bota. That's 3 wins to go along with the World Indoor Start Championship last year, right, Leon?
I think so, yeah.
This season. How do you feel this weekend?
Great. It was a pretty good week of training, and I'm really glad that I can put 2 good runs down in the race as well. And I'm just really relieved and happy that this race is over today.
Was it challenging for you?
SIGULDA is always challenging. It's a really difficult track, but I think I did a good job today, and I'm really happy. Thank you.
3rd place, Elisa Schulte. It will also be interesting to see how she fares tomorrow. She doesn't have a lot of team relay World Cup experience. 2nd place, Merle Frebel from Germany, as we await to see her make her way towards Patrick for the interviews. Leon, you don't need to stick around. I'm going to take this opportunity to wish you the best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you so
and
much.
our great thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. I really enjoyed it.
That's Leon Felder.
Congratulations on the podium again. Thank you. It's amazing. You just won thousands between P2 and P3. How do you feel?
I feel very happy. My 2nd run was so good. I make the core 4. Make it good today. In the 2nd run, in the 1st run I had some problems, and then I was not that fast. So in the 2nd run I make it better, and then yeah, I got to the podium again.
Congratulations, thank you.
Thank you.
2nd place and a nice finish for Merle Frebel. And the win goes to Alina Bota. Not sure if she's available for the interview. Usually she doesn't like to speak English. Maybe she'll be a little more willing after a race victory. We'll stand by for the winner interview.
Tennis spot 4, we start our ceremony. So please, everybody who owns the place on the podium and takes places, you all.
As we wait for the interview, quick question came in. We had one DNF here in run number 2. I believe that DNF gets the 20th place points, not a disqualification points. Not 100% sure, but I can look that up for you. As we still await the winner, Elina Bota from Latvia. A reminder, tomorrow men's singles comes your way, 11:03 local time here in Latvia. That's 10:03 in the Central European area. Obviously, Latvian television has understandably taken Elina away for an interview, potentially a live one, but we certainly are willing to wait to hear from the champion. Now let's hear from the winner, Elina Bota, down in the finish area with Patrick.
Elina, congratulations winning in front of your home crowd. How does it feel to win in Sigulda?
I feel amazing. How can I feel? Because it's my home track, all my fans, my family is here. I feel amazing.
How challenging was the track for you? I mean, it's your home track, but it was a very fast track, faster than in the training.
Yes, but I know the track very well and I know how to slide. But I think I only need to focus on my start and then everything will be okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations to Elina Bota, her third career victory, as she gets a hug of congratulations from her teammate Candia Apariod, who finished just off of the podium in 4th place. It's Latvia, Germany, Austria, Latvia, and the USA, the top 5 here, to conclude day number 1 of action here at the 4th stop on the EBERSPÄCHER Luge World Cup. Much more to come from Sigulda tomorrow, as we'll hit the ground running with 2 heats of men's singles, followed by the team relay, all coming your way tomorrow. But until then, from Sigulda, Latvia, for our entire FIL television crew and my broadcast partner Leon Felder, I'm Tim Singer, saying so long for now, and thanks for joining us.